Hello everybody, Fun Richie with the top 10 albums of 2019. This is brought to you by Cusqueña, the beer of the Andes. There's a bunch of these videos going around right now. My top 10 are not necessarily the best 10 albums of the year. They're my favorite 10 of the albums that I own. I just saw one of these videos by The Dark Stuff, and he showed Red Cross. I did not know Red Cross had an album out in 2019. They very well would have made my top 10. Although I did listen to the album on Bandcamp, and it is completely different than anything else they've done. So it kind of threw me. It wasn't necessarily what you expected. Now, I've seen some of these top 10s, and the people will say, I can't really say what is the best. Or, these albums are not in any particular order. Well, you can't have a top 10 list. If you don't have a number 1, you don't have a number 10. You have to follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, society falls apart. So I'm going to start my top 10. And I'm actually going to show 12. So number 12 is Mind Force. Excalibur. Now, with the hardcore punk crowd, this is probably going to be number 1 on a lot of people's list. It's got that New York hardcore crunchy sound, and I'm not that's not my favorite punk, just say. This is a really good album. These guys are really good in concert, and I had to include them. And they're in my number 12. If you like that New York hardcore, check it out. Number 11. It's the Coathangers. The Devil You Know. I'm not really familiar with this band. They've been around for a number of years. This is their 6th album. If you read the write-up on Bandcamp, most of the time there's like a paragraph about the record. This has got like a 10-page, it reads like a college thesis. And I don't know, it's basically, I guess this band started out as more of a punk band, and this is a album where they took some time off and they contemplated life, and now they're really working as a unit and not just 3 separate entities. Whatever, you know. Usually when I read the band started out as a punk band and they've developed, I usually probably like their early albums best. So I'm thinking I might like their early albums more than this one. I do like this album. I think all 3 gals here sing, and they definite distinct voices. One girl's got a deeper voice, and like Bimbo, it sounds like maybe all 3 of them are singing. I don't know. And then the next song, Five Farms, the girl with a deeper voice sings. But Hey Buddy is probably my favorite song on side 1, and it's one with the girl with a deeper voice. These songs, people might be tempted to put them like an indie alternative, and they have a little bit of that, but the song structures do have punk, the really simple song structures. And maybe if it was a little more aggressive, I might have liked it better. I think it's the second song, Five Farms. The guitars sound really like kind of weird. Number 11. Not bad, I mean. Number 10 is a French band, the Night Watchers. And I can't pronounce the name of this album, and I'm not going to attempt. This album the band sounds kind of like a Clash, the early 80s U2. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. It's got like a late 70s, early 80s arena punk rock. I don't know. I'm not giving a very good description. It's very listenable. It would be very radio friendly, let's say. But the words, the lyrics are brutal. They're dealing a lot with when France was pulling out of the Vietnam War and just different topics like that. And the lyrics are, they don't match the music. My number 10, out of my top 10, 12. Number 9, it's a VC Grail, Planet Master God. This is Nico Malcolm, a member of the VC, his band. Very cool. It's kind of like got repetitious, kind of drony, but the chords they don't sound drony. It's just got that pattern, and it's very good. Number 9, album of 2019. Very well done. Planet Master God. Check it out. Number 8 is an Oi 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 band from England. The Gutter Knife. What is the name of this thing? Boots on the Ground. Okay, yeah, Boots on the Ground. Oh, Boots on the Ground by Gutter Knife. Sounds a lot. Sometimes it sounds kind of like the Four Skins, but with a modern sound, and it's very well done. This is like got a silk screen feel to it. So I don't think there's very many of these printed actually. But yeah, UK, kind of like that UK DK, but it does have a more modern sound to it. Number 7, and I'm not really sure where this band's from. They're from Europe. It's Game, and this is No One Wins. It's got a lot of heavy metal tendencies to it. The singer, I didn't realize it was a female singer at first. She doesn't sound like your typical female singer. Really great vocals on this. I guess that's her right there. But yeah, this is really good. It's sung in, I think it's sung in English and Hungarian, but I'm not sure of the second language because I'm not a multilinguist. But yeah, this is really good. It's got elements of hardcore punk and definitely a lot of elements of thrashing metal. Really good album. My number 7 of 2019. My number 6 of 2019 is L7's newest album, Scatter the Rats. Really good. It sounds like L7. No surprises. And they came back true to form. Their first album in many years, since I think the 90s. And very good album. My number 6, L7. My number 5 is actually a comp. It's American Idols. It's all North Carolina bands. Just a fantastic comp. Only 300, I think, were made. 362. I have 171. If you're in the North Carolinas area and you see this in a record store and you have any interest in punk, pick it up. I don't think you're going to see it anywhere else. It's so limited, but fantastic. Just a really wide variety of types of music on this. Really well done. And it's on Sorry State Records, a fantastic label. My number 4, technically, well, it's Gabby Marino and Van Dyke's Park, and it's Spangled. Technically, this could probably be the best album of the bunch. But this is my, I'm doing it by my favorite. Number 4 is nothing to shake a stick at, though, or whatever that saying is. It's a fantastic album. She's got a great voice. The arrangements by Van Dyke Parks are surprisingly very good. I mean, I was a bit leery. I thought he might screw this up. But no, he does a fantastic job. It's in Spanish and English. And it's a really good album. It's got Across the Borderline, just a fantastic version. It has Jackson Browne also sings with her on that one. And actually, I think the song probably would have been better without Jackson Browne. But it's still good. The words to that song are fantastic. Another song is The Immigrants. The lyrics to that are a little more heavy-handed, and nowhere is subtle and moving as Across the Borderline. And I don't know, I don't want to get political, but people tend to oversimplify things on both sides. And there's a little bit of that on The Immigrants, I feel. I mean, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, but this is a fantastic album. What's really cool is, I will pull the insert out. It's got all the lyrics, and if it's in English, it later has the Spanish translation, and if it's sung in Spanish, it's got the English translation, which I thought was a very good touch. But yeah, this is a very good album. Highly recommend. It's probably the best album of the bunch, but it's my 4th favorite, if that makes any sense. Usually this kind of stuff I buy on CD. So it's kind of this sticks out like a big dick in this group. Let's put it that way. Number 3, top 3, is The Paranoids. Carnage Bargain. This album is fantastic. LA punk band, new wave. They have a kind of a late 70s sound. La Luz is one of my favorite current bands, and they have an organ player, and she sounds a lot. She plays the organ kind of like a 60s organ. The organ in this is more like a late 70s punk, that quirky Elvis Costello. It's got some of that in it. But yeah, really fantastic songs. The first 3 songs are just fantastic. They're 10 out of 10s. After that, there might be a couple of 7s. But that's about as low as it gets. I think this is great all the way through. And it's my number 3. My number 2 best album of 2019 is ISS, and Ali's Third Gut is the name of the album. It's got this picture of the Beastie Boys with their pictures, their faces superimposed on it. I don't know about that game, but really cool. It's got like a post-punk sound feel to it, kind of like Gang of Four, if Gang of Four actually had a good singer in parts, mixed in with Rudimentary Peni. That's what I said before when I described this album. And it's just a very well-made album. Band from North Carolina, and again on Sorry State Records. And my number 1 album of 2019 is another North Carolina band, and it's another band on Sorry State Records. Sorry State Records has 3 out of my top 10 here. And it's No Love and the album is Choke on It. Just another female singer. Just fantastic. There are some female vocals on this also. This is a female, 3 females, 1 band. This Gabby's obviously female. There's a lot of females on my top 10 this year. This is the gal that sings, and she's fantastic. I mean, typically, back in the 80s, I wasn't a real big fan of a lot of the female singers. They tended to be a little screechy. It seems like this new generation of female punk singers, that's not the case at all. And this, fantastic, with the dual guitars. The guitars on this are just, man, they're just poundingly great. And this is my #1 album of 2019, by far. Now, I'm going to probably get the Red Cross, probably in January. I'm not going to buy any records the rest of this year, but I do have 2 albums that I just got that came out in 2019, but it's like earlier recordings, 2017 to 19 type of stuff, like collections, whatever. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and for all of you that don't celebrate Christmas, you have a Merry Christmas too. Take care. Feliz Navidad.